Hey there, my name is Mitch, and I have my anterior cruciate ligament surgery tomorrow morning. And I guess for a while I've been thinking about making a bit of a vlog about my recovery. And so, in order to get that vlog going, I thought that I should film my pre-surgery video. So here it is. My name is Mitch, and I play a lot of netball. I've played netball I'm 28 now, and I've played it since I was 13 years old. And I started taking it pretty seriously when I was 15. I started playing for New South Wales, which is a state in Australia. And I played in the New South Wales under 17s, the New South Wales under 19s, New South Wales under 23s, New South Wales men's opens, New South Wales men's reserves, New South Wales mixed. And in the year 2020, I was the captain of the New South Wales men's reserve side, and we were tracking really well towards 2020 nationals held in Adelaide. Training really hard, really working on my fitness. Netball is a really high impact game where strength and conditioning and cardiovascular fitness work really closely together to make you a really high performer in that game. And strength and conditioning and cardio is something that I've always struggled with. So I was really going hell for leather in the months leading up to nationals and doing extra fitness with my friends, making my colleagues go for runs with me, getting gym buddies, all of those kinds of things. And in February, I went to my physio because I was doing so much running and I had a bit of an issue with my Achilles. They were pulling up really sore after runs and after training, really tender, particularly first thing in the morning, and had some treatment from my physio, and it was really improving, doing some calf raises. And my physio said, got me up on the floor and just watched me do some leaps and bounds. And the physio was like, I just think that your alignments are a little bit off. I really want to strengthen you up and make sure all of those alignments are on point because I think you're an ACL injury waiting to happen. And that was 1 week before I did my ACL. Uh, the week that I did my ACL was the same week as O Week at the place that I work, which is the University of New South Wales. And O Week is a huge event for us. It is the biggest event of the year. There's hundreds of thousands of people on campus, lots of activities, lots of random things popping up. And part of my job is to go to all of the faculty welcomes and to speak to students and get them excited for university. So I'm all over campus every day. In the lead up to O Week, this coronavirus stuff was getting pretty serious in Australia. Large events were being told to shut down. A student from the university had coronavirus. So there was all eyes on the university to make that event really successful. And unfortunately, the night before O Week started on the Monday, there was torrential rain. So we had this totally crazy first day of O Week where we took all of our 400 stalls, we pulled them inside of a huge venue, we set them all up, we did all of our activities differently to how we'd planned. And then the Tuesday, we had to roll everything back out again, and it had been a really, really stressful and intense couple of days. And so on Tuesday night, I play social netball with a great group of people. Our team is called 50 Shades, and it pays homage to the fact that three of the people that I play with, we played together for nearly 10 years, and we were a bunch of randoms that got together when I was in first year uni. So I played with them at 6:30, and I was a bit stressed. I went for a little run, and then I filled in for my friends at 8:30. And the people that I played with at 8:30, it was very casual, very social, and I was playing goal attack in the second quarter and driving to the post. And as I leapt for the ball and I landed, my knee crumpled inwards on kind of a diagonal. I fell to the ground, I grazed my knee, there was a lot of pain. And then the game was kind of paused and I pulled myself off court and I was hyperventilating and I got some ice and then the game continued to play. And at the end of the game, I had called a few friends, I'd called my physio, and I got told that a good course of action could be to go to the emergency ward. So I got my friend to drive me to the emergency ward, got checked in there. That was at about 9:30 p.m. I got seen by a doctor at 11:30 p.m. and at 1:30 a.m. I was discharged with an X-ray and a couple of other notes that basically said, "Go see a doctor tomorrow, and we'll figure out what's happened to you, but you should be fine for now." And by then, the pain had gone down. There was a bit of swelling, and I couldn't really do any weight bearing at that point. Yeah, and I was hoping that it wasn't that bad. And so the next day, I went to the physio, and my physio did a few tests. One of the main tests for an ACL injury is the Lockman's test, which is where they kind of tug your knee upwards like this, or tug your calf upwards like this. And they couldn't tell from that test if I had an ACL, which is quite normal in a complex injury. And so my physio did say, best case scenario, it's not an ACL, but I think you should prepare for worst case scenario. So I'm a kind of infectiously optimistic person. Glass is always half full. So I was really hoping it wasn't that bad. And then I got on this little scooter and I did lots of the rest of my work for that week on the scooter. I got an MRI. The MRI was on the Thursday night, and there was a fire evacuation during the MRI, so I had to get stomped out of the building and then got pulled back in, completed my MRI, and the results came in the next day. And the results revealed that I had done an ACL injury. So when I found that out, that was the first time that I cried because I put a lot of emotional energy into netball. I play netball all year round. All of my friends are from netball. It's a critical way of how I see people, how I interact, how I motivate myself. And so that was a really devastating blow. And I particularly was embarrassed for my team that I had done that in such a casual environment. So, yeah, that was the first time that I cried. And then I started telling people, telling my coach. My coach was amazing and said that I could become the assistant coach of my team. My team was really supportive and they said, it's not your fault. This could have happened to anyone, which now that I think about it, is something that does ring quite true to me. I've played competitive netball for 12 years now and I've never done a serious injury. So to do an ACL at this time is quite a normal thing. I know heaps of people that have done an ACL. When I posted on Facebook asking for recommendations for surgeons and doctors and playlists and physios, I got hundreds of responses. So it is a really common injury in Australia, which got me to the point of asking for surgeons. And I went to a surgeon at the Prince of Wales Private Hospital called Dr. David Bro. And he was a legend when I met him. His daughters play netball and he was really nice to me and very understanding of me wanting to get back. So he suggested that we do a patella graft, which is a slightly less common form of ACL repair. Normally you do a hamstring graft, but he suggested a patella graft for me, which is where they take a small piece of bone on your patella and then the ligament all the way down to your shin bone and a small piece of bone from there. And then they take that piece that goes bone, ligament, bone, and then they drill holes in your knee and re-thread it. So it's a very strong thing to do because the titanium screws and bone-to-bone adhesive are very strong. It's what he suggested he does for all the professional National Rugby League players, which is kind of a professional sport in Australia. So that was kind of the plan, and his main feedback for me at that point was to do really hard prehab, which in contemporary physiotherapy and ex-phys and ACL recovery is to lift really heavy weights. So I hit the gym as hard as I could, doing lots of squats, lots of split squats, deadlifts, leg extensions, as much as I could. And initially that was really challenging, and I wore a leg brace for the first 3 weeks of that. Because I did feel like my knee could buckle. The results of my MRI were that I had a ruptured ACL, a second degree MCL tear, meniscus tears in 2 places, some damage to my PCL and some damage to my LCL. So a complex injury, which didn't seem possible after such a small fall at netball, but nonetheless, that's what I had. So I wore the knee brace and I hit the prehab really hard. Started to increase the weight load, started to increase the inflection, but never really got past 3/4 depth in my squats. but did get up to really heavy weights. Like I'm 95 kilos and I was squatting 140 kilos just before my surgery, which was the heaviest I've ever squatted. So that was kind of cool and something fun to look forward to and a good goal to have as well. So I highly recommend anyone that's in that prehabilitation phase to really hit the gym hard. It's really motivating to see your results, and the idea of the muscle atrophy post-surgery because you have such limited mobility is something that did scare me a lot. So it was very easy to motivate doing that. Then I traveled to Mexico for 2 weeks. My trip had been booked, and the surgeon was confident that there wasn't that much of a risk of going as long as I wore the leg brace when I did crazy activities, which I didn't do that many crazy activities, but I climbed some pyramids and I went to Tulum and did some hikes and did plenty of fun stuff, even though I lacked a bit of mobility. And I was still going to the gym while I was there as well. And when I got back, the coronavirus went a bit crazy as I was coming back. I was meant to go on a work trip, and the portion of my work trip got cancelled, and my bags got sent to Atlanta, and I got stuck in Dallas. And then I finally got home. My bags only just joined me a couple of days ago, a few weeks late. So I got back early and I kept doing the prehab really hard. And then on Monday, the 23rd of March, so about 6 weeks after my injury, I was in the hospital ready for my surgery. I had done all the pre-admission things that you need to do. I was in the hospital night dress. I was lying in the bed. I had the cannula in my arm. And then they decided that I had been overseas too recently to be in a hospital. So my surgery got cancelled. And that was the second time that I cried because I had put so much weight and emotion and preparedness for this surgery that it was really upsetting to have that taken away from me. So suddenly and when I was so close as well. And so I've come home and I've gone to my parents' house in this white room, and I have done an additional 6 days or 7 days now of home isolation of almost perfect quarantine. I have food at my door. I do my exercises inside. I only go out to go to the bathroom, and I disinfect when I leave to try to make sure that I'm squeaky clean. It's 10:30 p.m. now, and I have my admission into the hospital for my second surgery at 6:30 in the morning, 8 hours away. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really excited. The surgeon has now said that because of coronavirus and trying to minimize the time that I'm in the hospital, he would like me to now get the hamstring graft, which I'm a little bit disappointed about because he was so sure that the patella graft was so strong. But my understanding of the data is that the hamstring graft is super strong. Lots of athletes will get the hamstring graft as well. So I'm not too worried. It's all about your rehabilitation and how much you can focus on that. So yeah, fingers crossed. Looking forward to tomorrow. I understand that it's very painful for the first couple of days, and they give you plenty of good drugs, which is great, but sometimes that can not be quite good enough. So I'm hoping that it's not too painful. I have quite a high pain threshold, so I'm not that worried about that aspect of it. And I'm really lucky that I have parents and a boyfriend who will look after me really well while I'm recovering. And I'm also working from home at the moment because we're all in lockdown in Australia, so I don't expect that the kind of trauma of going back to work will be that significant. So I guess I'm excited to make these vlogs because I feel like when I first did my injury, I wasn't really sure where any information was. I knew people had done ACLs, but I hadn't really fully captured their stories and their goals and their rehab and their slip ups and trip ups. So I also think that storytelling is a really powerful device for healing. So as much as I'm trying to physically heal my body from this ACL injury, I'm also trying to mentally and emotionally heal because I would really like to play nationals in 2021, which is now 12 months away. So it's quite a close call, especially when the recovery is 12 months. So I'm excited to share this journey with you. And I will catch you on the flip side of my surgery very soon. Thanks for watching my TED Talk. Bye.